So here we are. It is episode 0. Now, you're all probably wondering, why am I naming this one or titling this one as episode 0? But in all honesty, I want to keep each numbered episode after this one to be a hot take episode topic. This one, I want you all to just get to know, get a feel of who I am. Why should you guys give an allotment of, 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes, however much, the length of each episode that I upload? Why should you all care? Why should you all even give me an opportunity of clicking on anywhere you listen to your podcast, an opportunity, So I want you all to get a feel of who I am and why I'm doing this. So as you all know, I go by the name of Pedro Murillo Jr., also known in the B-Boy dance community as Sick Mode. I am Wash Heights Jesus, but you can all call me Pedro. I know I just launched a ton of names and AKAs at you, but if you know me and if you've been in my circle, you know there's a whole lot more AKAs to go with that. So who am I? You all know the name. I come from a breaking hip-hop background. I started breaking in 1999 August when I had just finished junior high. I had been playing this video game called Bust a Groove, and I saw this guy breakdancing, and I said, I want to roll around on the floor just like that and look cool. 21 years later, here I am, and between all of the opportunities that I've gotten as a dancer, as a b-boy, it allowed me to meet some celebrities, to meet some great people, meet awesome peers. And I have a great story on Joaquin Phoenix that I think I might, make an episode about that, just to kind of let you all know all the avenues that I've taken and, let you know how I got to this point. But from breaking, I was able to explore the commercial side. As a b-boy, I wanted to battle. I wanted to be in competitions. I wanted to be Spider-Man as a kid. And this is the closest I got to be as a superhero like Spider-Man. So from breaking, I became an actor. I started acting. Back in 2009, I had flirted with the idea. In 2011, I decided to train seriously. In 2013, I graduated from my acting school, and just a month or two after, I booked my first under 5 role for the HBO series The Leftovers. From there, more success came in my way, booking work as an actor, little guest spots here and there as a dancer, but more acting work started coming my way, which developed me to become a motivational speaker. I never knew that I had, a verbal dexterity to command an audience, to lead the way for people, and to also share some positive information. In addition to, I don't know what it is about people that they need to see someone succeed, someone like them to succeed, in order for them to feel that they have the power to do the same thing or even get close to doing the same thing. And from all of those skills that I just mentioned, and, I also want to say that just because I'm a b-boy, I'm an actor, an artist, a motivational speaker, doesn't mean I don't know how to edit sound. For this podcast in particular, I had to learn. I learned how to create edit video, I should say. I learned many skills and trades in order for me to be able to stand a chance and put myself out there. And you mix all of that up, and here you have the host of What's the Status podcast. I learned to do as much as I can, and I'm still a student of life, a student of wanting to learn more, to sponge as much information. And I figured, why not? Why not start a podcast? Why not put my voice out there? I've always been enamored by being in front of the camera. As a kid, I remember seeing movies. I remember watching Hook, and I remember watching Rufio trying to one-up, Peter Pan. And I'm like, man, if I was Rufio, I would do it like this. I remember watching Home Alone and thinking, if I was Macaulay Culkin, I would do it like this. And my sisters and my mom would look at me like, man, this dude is wild. Like, he's just pretending that he's in the movie, but he's really not. But that's how things started with me. I wanted to become, and here I am now as an adult, looking for every possible ways of succeeding within the things that I want to succeed in at. And I had no idea I'd ever start a podcast, but what better time during a pandemic that, I'm able to afford the time and shed some light and some information. Basically, it was inspired by my fellow peers, actually. For all of you that are listening right now, you are all the reason why I decided to start a podcast. And why? Why did you guys get me to this position? During this pandemic, we've gone through a lot of social injustice, a lot of wanting to see reform as a result of these social injustices. But then when I see on social media, I've even participated in, in public gatherings of marches and people wanting to see a change. And I'm listening to what people are shouting. I'm seeing what people are posting, but I see nothing that actually requires an action that goes with how the laws of this country was created. So I put out some videos out there. I wanted to show that, like, look, guys, you guys got to do this. But, I'm just a person that I'm not a named actor with 100 million followers that people are going to listen to my video and have a ton of reposts and put that voice and that message out there. I don't have that platform, but I decided to use this platform that I'm creating for myself, to put the information that I think a lot of people that don't really have the time or don't really care to make the time to look for. As a dancer, as an actor, as a motivational speaker, I've learned that people give up on basic principle. It's easy to get distracted. The information is out there if you really want it, and your future is out there if you really want to make it and mold it the way that you do. I want people to be the person that everyone comes to it, for advice, that has the knowledge. And I feel that through inspiration, maybe you all can come out of this podcast episode, or further down the road, if you all subscribe to this podcast and listen to weekly, to want to continue to be more than what you are now. I don't think there's a ceiling that anybody can say that they have above their head. And no matter what the age is, I feel that we're all capable of this. And I feel and I believe that I can offer insight and touch on topics to help many understand the subject matter a bit further. So this podcast, what's the status? What is the status? The status is going to be basically weekly episodes where I bring, sometimes I'll have an expert take. I'll have special guests that'll come in and touch up on topics. This is a variety podcast. We'll be talking about the performing arts, specifically with dancing, with acting, with singing. I'm going to bring in, who knows? I have some celebrities lined up. I'll see how I sprinkle them in. I want to talk about fitness. I want to talk about health, skin health. As a performer, as an artist that wants and craves to be in front of the camera to perform, we all have to have a lot of things set in balance, so why not let the public know? Why is it that only celebrities know where to go and get this information, get this knowledge from? So what to expect from What's the Status? Political insight for artists, the info insight for everyone, expert testimonials and insight for everyone to know what it's like in different industries, not just as actors and performers, in every single industry. I want to touch up on what's the status of this industry, and also go in hidden alleyways, because there's always, listen, wherever there is money and the human being in the same room, in the same sentence, you're going to run into a lot of political situations. There's always going to be some BS on why this happened versus the common sense and logical way of things happening. Follow the money, follow the money. My psychology background cannot ever not pop into my head and make myself question, I know why he said that. Let's just follow the money. Mitch McConnell supports coal and all that stuff. I wonder why. Let's follow the money. Who is he support? Who is supporting his super PAC? And why is it that he doesn't speak up on this, but he just supports a bill and shuts down anything for clean energy? You see, it's hot topics like this that I want to shed light and shed interest in, because I know growing up in of the many industries that I've been a part of, all in the web of the entertainment industry, I talk about these things to people, and people give me that look of like, no, I just wanted to make a joke, I don't really know about that topic. But I know about that topic, and I believe that you should be that person that should have every knowledgeable sense of information so you can hold the discussion, not just with your fellow peers, but what if you go to a public gathering and you're next to a politician? How are you going to approach this politician? Or you're at a dinner party with some very important people and they start talking current events, or they start talking about anything that's outside of the little teeny tiny bubble that many of us have created for ourselves. This is what What's the Status is going to bring. It's going to bring awareness. It's going to bring information and expert takes on every hot topic that we are currently facing and most likely will continue to face through our generations, to the point that even our kids, when they're adult, they're most likely going to be going through. I mean, we've all seen the pictures of people that have been protesting way back in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s. It's all a cycle. And there is a big grasp in our government, in our society, to continue things. And there are many loopholes in the Bill of Rights that politicians today continue to exploit and use against many people that are at a disadvantage. I won't get too passionate about that right now because this is episode 0. So I'm hoping that from what I am saying, you guys get a grasp of like, oh, that's where we're going to go. You know what I'm saying? So on that note, where can you listen to this podcast? Well, aside from the fact that you found this episode wherever you're listening to this current episode right now, and it is available on every platform where podcasts are available. Popular podcast places are Apple Podcasts. I will also have it mainly on Spotify. I will have it mainly everywhere, again, that you listen to a podcast. So I need you all to do me a favor. If you are interested, if you want to continue to know more about myself and about my journey, in addition to bringing special guests that are a part of this journey and have an expert take on these situations, I need you all to subscribe to this podcast. I would love for you all to please follow the social media pages on Instagram and YouTube. It is at What's the Status Podcast. In addition, I would love to, and further down the road as we continue bringing out episodes and, we start getting a nice flow and wave of audience members, what's the status podcast at gmail.com. We're going to have, people. I would love for you guys to reach out with questions in advance, or topic ideas. What should we touch up on, and check on the status of those particular takes. And obviously, when I bring in some high profile people or individual notoriety of these people will be blasted out there, and we'll have the opportunity of having crowdsourced questions to ask whoever it is that I bring on board, and I would love for this to be a very very intimate insight experience. I want us to all feel like this is all a community effort, a collaborative community effort. Because what better way if all of us can succeed? There's only one race in this world, and that is the human race. And guess what we all have in common? We are all racing against time. We should not be racing against each other. So this podcast will be available every single week. I promise you all, it will always be an hour or so less. I won't let it go over an hour. And if it does, then, I'll upload it on YouTube, give you all the raw and uncut edition of that. So by all means, everyone, please be on the lookout. Once again, my name is Pedro, and I am so fortunate and grateful to have each and every one of you that took the time to come in here, get to know on episode 0 what you're getting yourselves into. I hope you're all excited, as I am very excited to bring this, take it to where it needs to get to. At the current moment, I can tell you, I have a 10 episode series, I guess, 10 episode season, not series, excuse me. And, depending on how many people want to continue coming on board, I might extend it. It might be 10, it might be 15, it might be 20. You know what? I don't know. The people, you all are in charge. You're all executive producers. Your voices will be heard, and I will be able to bring to you whatever is within the right to do so. Give the people what they want. I am the man of the people. The champ is here, baby. Let's go. And thank you once again for coming on board and listening to this first episode. Well, I guess episode 0. I don't want to go on my word. Okay. On that note, check out episode 1 with special guest Quickstep. And the topic is hip hop. This is hip hop. Actually, we're going to get to the bottom of what is the status of hip hop. And I want everybody to tune in. Thank you. Good fight. Good night. Enjoy.